Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to PPR Xbox Division number 4 as we are live here in Bahrain. Currently on board here with IB, who sets a 127.7 here for the fourth fastest lap so far in qualifying. We already have 4 drivers out here with 11 minutes still to go. It's Booster GMC, X, F, the coach, and Big Mr. Brown all yet to set a lap here. We will go ahead and take a look here at Bald Guy Racing. Bald Guy currently 7th fastest with a 128.2. His teammate of Night Shrimp sits there in 5th place. We'll now look here at the Red Bull of Sprightly. Sprightly yet to set a lap in qualifying. We'll put a time here on the board as he does not want to start in 15th place here on track. Get a little bit of look at tires, our telemetry, our lap data, and our track map as well. Do apologize for the brief technical delay that we had, but we're glad to be bringing this to you here tonight. I had a little bit of some audio issues going on with our first stream, but we are now live, and that is Sprightly going 10th fastest with a 28.7. Also, should be said, set on the medium compound of tire. Got Brawny Man here going out again on another lap. Looks like his teammate as well of RM is shortly behind him there. Currently in 9th on the softs. Brawny Man here in 2nd. 2/10 off of SF, 1776 at the moment. SF doing 2 laps on softs. Those soft tires were done. Unfortunately, maybe a little bit too much wear is going to be on him. Might have to take an early stop in the race. We'll see how that all plays out, whether safety cars are an abundance or if we go with 0. Would quite love to spend the next 29 laps of this race with 0 safety cars. But they do shake up the action, so 1 or 2 will not hurt the racing. But here goes Brawny Man now, engaging DRS, and across the line here to start his next lap here in qualifying on the soft compound tires, making his run up here to turn number 1. Very late on the brakes. A little bit too deep there in 1, but that's okay as he goes through 2 and 3. DRS engaged once again as he makes this run up to turn 4. Very quick sweeping right-hander. Don't want to be too heavy on the brakes. And now comes up to a 5 and 6 and through a part S. As that breaks off sector 1 and into sector 2. He'll begin here. Now into our next DRS zone on track. You can see it there for Brawny. As we have Get My Pipes in the fastest lap so far in qualifying, a 26.1. That is a fantastic lap for the McLaren driver. That is 8/10 past SF. I wonder if SF can maybe bounce back of that. Can Brawny Man say anything about it as well? He's coming up to the final turn here. See what kind of lap time he can put in, if he can compete at all there. We'll Get My Pipe. He's currently a whole second behind him, and it looks like he's only going to improve by a 10th, nearly edging out SF, just missing out by about 300ths of a second. Now take a look here at Brawny Man's teammate of RM. RM up nearly 4/10 here. Currently sits in 10th place. As he comes down, approaching the final turn here on circuit. Braking very late there. Just before the 50-meter board. DRS is enabled. Looks like he's going to be in the 27s here. Yes, he is 27.5 for RM. 3/10 off of get some chops there in 4th, but right ahead of IB by 2/10 of a second. We now go on board here with Night Shrimp in the Ferrari. Night Shrimp already 2/10 up in sector 1. Lap is looking very promising for him at the moment. Be careful, it looks like he has the Toro Rosso of IB right in front of him. Shouldn't cause him too much trouble on this lap as long as IB gets out of the way when needed. Nitram now making his way up to turn 11. And now these sweeping turns of 12 and 13. Unfortunately there, IB getting a little bit in his way. Nitram having to go down one gear. As now he invalidates his lap. That might be looked at by the stewards maybe post-race. Or IB may have impeded that lap there. Going on board here with SF. SF looking to go very slowly at the moment. It looks like IB though now starting his next lap, sitting in 6th place at the moment, a 27.7 for his Alpha Tauri. He makes the run up now to turn number 4. And the short break that is 5 and 6 here. So then lead you downhill through 7 and then into turn 8. This near hairpin of a corner. You got a Ferrari in front of him, gonna have to be careful. Hopefully IB does not get his lap impeded. And he comes around turns 9 and 10 now. That left-hander can be very quick. You gotta keep it careful on the brakes and when you're steering as well. Very easy to lock up. And now into turn number 11. Want to mash that pedal as quick as possible and take this full throttle through turns 12 and now into 13. Want to be careful not to extend too much. That might be a track limit warning in the race, but here in qualifying, IB not getting anything, and now coming through the final turns, which is 14 and 15. Very odd. It's not one single turn. They label it as 2, and IB across the line there, proving by half a second. Good enough for a P6. It's a 27.2, just behind Get Some Chops, less than 100th of a second there, separating both of those drivers. So we now take it back on board here with Ball Guy Racing, see if we can set another time here in the Ferrari. Currently in the top 10 and 9th. Gonna have all but one driver here on track outside of the top 10. Is SLR Crush is also retired from the session, so we only have 10 left here in qualifying. 3 minutes 33 seconds left to go. Ball Guy Racing is crossing the line, good enough for 7th there, improves by nearly a second, getting it very close to IB and Get Some Chops in 5th and 6th, but it's good enough for 7th there, and definitely a top 10 in store for Ball Guy Racing. Not too much to compete with here at the end of qualifying. It looks like Brownie Man was letting by Nitram. Nitram going very slow. Not sure if Nitram's going to be able to get another lap in here. We'll now go on board with Get My Chops in the Williams. Coming through the final 2 turns here. That is 14 and 15. DRS enabled. Can he get himself further up the grid? Yes, he can. That is P2 for Get Some Chops. Still 3/10 plus behind Get My Pipe there in first, but good enough for 2nd place in the front row for him as well. See if he can keep it here in qualifying. As Brownie Man now is about to start his lap. This is going to be his final lap qualifying. There's only 2:30 left, so any drivers still in the pits are going to want to get out right now so that they may make it before the timing clocks out and they're no longer able to set laps here. Brownie Man very nice through turns 1 and 2. Because if you do not get those 2 turns right, you can be very, very off the pace. Here on this lap, turn 1 and that exit of turn 2, very crucial when it comes to qualifying lap time, as is every corner, but that, especially if you get down on your lap, especially your final lap, is just heartbreaking to try to even build up and improve on your previous time. But Brownie Man doing a solid job here. He comes up to turn number 11. Very quick, mashing down on the throttle there. Not having too much trouble here, controlling the banana boat of the Renault, as he's up by half a tenth at the moment through Sector 2. That's going to be good enough if he can keep it together to pass up SF, but SF trailing right behind him. SF may be able to take this away from Brownie Man. We will see. But at the moment, it looks like Brownie Man is going to get fourth. Yes, he is. Barely, but here comes SF up 2/10 unless his engine completely dies. He will get that place back. And even more, that is going to be third place there for SF 1776. He will be on the second row of the grid as it stands at the moment. We'll take a look here at RM. And also we have LDR Redeemer cutting it very close. 30 seconds left here in his Mercedes. Looks like he's just going to cross the line with enough time. We have 18 seconds remaining. Redeemer looks to be our last competitor who will set a lap here. Back on board now with RM. His teammates in fifth. What can he do here? This will be the final lap for RM in qualifying. He's going to come across the line. It's good enough for sixth place, right next to his teammate of Brownie Man. And Night Shrimp gets fourth. Looks like he was unable to set another lap. This is what it looks like here at the moment. And straight on, looks like his A. I don't know what's going on there with Night Shrimp. Looks like some technical difficulties on his end. Unfortunate for Night Shrimp. Looks like maybe Codemaster just stole his car away from him. But here we go on board with LDR Redeemer. Looks to be our last driver to set a lap here in qualifying in the Mercedes. He's currently 10th. And with 5 drivers retiring, he's the slowest of all current active drivers on circuit. See if he can pick himself a few spots up on the grid. We go with the onboard footage through the last turn here in qualifying. And now all LDR Redeemer has to do here is mash that DRS button and go across the line for P3. Barely edging out SF 1776 with a 26.609. SF 1776 with a 26.611. Nearly the same lap set, but LDR Redeemer will get that third position. It looks like Night Shrimp is back in control of his car and going again. Very good for him, even though he's completely missing that front wing. But looks like he'll be set for the race. And so is our grid as well. The top 10 all starting on the softs. Let's get my pipe, get some chops on the front row of the grid. We then have LDR Redeemer and SF rounding out the second row, followed by Night Shrimp and Brownie Man on the third row. Brownie Man followed behind by his teammate of RM in 7th, who's followed up by Sprightly, IB, and Bald Guy Racing in 8th, 9th, and 10th. Outside of the 10 who will start on those same soft tires is SLR Crush, Boost GMC, X-Physicist, the coach, and Big Mr. Brown. X-Physicist, the coach, and Big Mr. Brown all unable to set a lap time here in qualifying. Unknown why, because we were a little bit late to get this stream up and running for qualifying, but hopefully they can have better hopes in the race, as we have 30 seconds of time remaining for any drivers still out on track. But everyone that we're seeing has checkered flags and coming in the pits, so looks like Cody's just wants us to hang out just a little bit more. But if you are interested in joining us here at PPR, there is a link to our Discord just underneath this video. You can join us there. We race F1, iRacing, and Assetto Corsa Competizione. You can see our schedule as well. That's posted on our IG. That's on our Discord if you join. It's also on our Twitter as well, as we race nearly every day of the week besides Saturdays at the moment. So there's plenty of racing to go on, but if you are interested, definitely hit us up. We'd be glad to have you. But there you have it, our top 3 once again. Get my pipe, get some chops. Maybe he's going to be eating some pork chops if he gets a podium here tonight. And then LDR Redeemer in third, putting in a absolutely stellar lap at the very end of qualifying. Still nearly half a second off of Get My Pipes time, but still we'll see how the race pace is for Get My Pipes. See if he can keep that quality pace. But as the clock ticks down to end the session, we got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that will be it here in qualifying Bahrain for Xbox Division 4. We now await all of our drivers to load back in, get their setups together, and then we'll be off for the formation lap, and then followed by 29 laps of racing here under the lights in the desert. While all of our drivers go ahead and get all their setups up, we will take a brief 30-second to a minute break here on stream. We'll be right back with you. If you like stream, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. I believe we're about to hit 750, or we already have now during the stream. So greatly appreciate all of you guys. I am PPR Nick, and I'll be right back with all of you. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here for the start of our formation lap. You just saw the tire strategy presented by AWS there at the bottom of the screen. Definitely looking like a two-stop here tonight, unless some drivers want to put on the hards. It's very hard. Oh, and it looks like SF has already been disqualified. Hanger Redeemer as well. They're going to start with some very cold tires. Not looking good for those guys. As we're underway here during the formation lap. The strategy tonight is definitely going to be hard for drivers to go softs and mediums. Almost nearly impossible. Still able to do so. Safety cars will definitely switch up strategy if we see those here tonight. But it is definitely looking like a two-stop at the moment. Either softs, and mediums. Stretching out those softs for just a little bit more than usual. Or either maybe a soft to medium strategy. You might see some guys throw on the hards as well. So strategy definitely up in the air for all the teams here, all the drivers. McLaren starting on pole and starting in last place. See how they could do here tonight. Our best team at the moment looks like Renault there. Some two solid qualifying times put in by Bronny and RM as they start in the mid of the field tonight. See what they can do there, if they can pick up some spots, or are they going to fall back to maybe the clutches of Sprightly IB or Bald Guy Racing. You got to be wary there. The Ferrari of Bald Guy, he's going to catch you out. You're going to look at that bald head as it shines past your car and get blinded just a little bit as he overtakes you on track. But here we go, rounding about the final corner is Get My Pipe. Gotta get my chops there, and the Williams behind him. Oh, and Night Shrimp, what is your AI doing? AI just said, let me yeet myself one more time to heat up all of these tires. We got the rest of our grid forming up here. Unfortunately, LDR Redeemer and SF are now going to have to be careful with those cold tires. Shouldn't take too long to warm them up, but here at the beginning of the race, it is definitely going to be an interesting start for them. We now wait for the 5 red lights. As we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. Oh, it looks like Get My Chops got a great start. LDR Redeemer, a horrible one. Oh, makes a little bit of contact there with the Ferrari of Nitram. The Renault of RM getting backed off very much. Oh, and it is a squeeze here through turn 1. Oh, the Haas of SF going off. You got the Renault now of RM cutting corners after getting hit, and a Ferrari ghosting through. What an occurrence we just saw through the first 2. And there's a McLaren off, a Haas as well in the background. Looks like SF is going to have to push through. He doesn't have wing damage. I believe that was his teammate of Boosted GMC who got it. But at the moment, Get My Pipe leading out very strongly here in first. Brawny Man there in third. Oh, and what has gone wrong with IB? He's going way wide there at turn 8. And we now have a yellow flag. Looks like we have cars off. That may be LDR Redeemer. Oh, no, who just put in third there and now back all the way in the 15th. Doesn't look like he has any damage, so very good for him, but that's going to be a mountain to climb for him. Get some chops here, and fourth has been overtaken by Night Shrimp here on the first lap of the race. Night Shrimp already getting himself into the top 3. Very nicely done there by him. RM and the Renault trying to pick up some spots that he lost, but Brawny Man definitely the winner of that first lap, up into second after starting in 5th. Oh, and it looks like RM's going to get the mega squeeze there by Sprightly. Don't know if Sprightly saw him there, and Sprightly now coming into the pits. RM definitely not going to be happy about that. Oh, and Sprightly not going to be happy about that 5-second time penalty, as Renault now leads the race, or at least that's what it's saying. Maybe seeing some discrepancies here on the timing boards. I believe we are, as we now have ghosted cars. Not quite sure what's going on here between Bald Guy and RM, as they both look to be ghosting, but the rest of our drivers are not, so not quite sure. Time screen is also messing up. Thank you, Cody's, but I believe it is still Get My Pipe up here in the McLaren in first place. You can see it there on the track map, our very beautiful and illustrious track map. He's followed by Brawny Man here in second place. IB I believe is back around 7th or 8th. Yes, I believe that is 8th there for IB Unfortunately, don't know why it's saying he's in first place. I bet he wishes he was, and there we go. Oh, and that looks like, speaking of IB that is actually Sprightly who's gone off. He's Vetteled it, and he's got some wing damage. Well, that end plate is well off of his front wing. See if he can keep it going. Unfortunately, Sprightly also just pitted. That's going to set Sprightly back massively. He's probably praying for a safety car now. It is not looking good for the Red Bull or the AlphaTauri. Those two teams really struggling here at the beginning of the race. They're on board here with Get Some Chops. SF now finally hopping in the pits. Wonder if he's going to put on the hards, maybe go to the end here. He could stretch them out if he wanted to. He's not going to fall back all the way to the back of the grid. It looks like RM and Ball Guy now through turn 1. RM with the overtake. Oh, when we got a yellow. We got a yellow. Oh, that's the Williams of Get Some Chops. He's off and falling all the way back. Gets back on circuit, though, but he's all the way fallen down to 12th as RM overtakes Ball Guy there on the Ferrari. We got Renault in second, Renault in fourth, Ferrari in third, Ferrari in fifth, and McLaren leading the race. This top 5 really battling it out, but two constructors really going to have a nice battle here as SLR Crush unfortunately picking up a 3-second time penalty. As we'll take it on down here to LDR Redeemer, who's starting to crawl back up the grid after that spin there at turn 8. Luckily, no wing damage. He's going side by side now here with Crush. So you're going to outbrake one another. Crush going a little bit wide off the track. And LDR Redeemer now first to mash the throttle. Still not too far back here of SLR Crush. Crush still has a chance to get back at him. Looks like Redeemer locks up just a little bit there. And he's now hopping into the pits after getting that overtake done. Throwing it into the pits. Big Mr. Brown, though, sees his opportunity here on the Red Bull on lap 4. Looks like he's going to try to take it around the outside of Crush. Oh, and getting really close. Crush giving the squeeze and keeping the place. Big Mr. Brown just didn't have enough in him to stick it side by side. And we have another car off. We should be able to pick it up right here with Big Mr. Brown. Who is it? Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we see who that was. Yellow flag is gone very quickly. So we are very much still under racing. We're taking on board here with the AlphaTauri of the coach behind the Haas of Boosted GMC. Boosted GMC getting sent to the back pretty early there on the first lap, but looks like he's doing fine now, up into 6th after some of these stops. The coach slowly catching up here to the Haas. He's about 3 to 4 tenths off. He's going to have some massive slipstream here. Oh, and that Ferrari ball guy really losing the back end. Looks like he's starting to struggle on his tires as well. Let's take a quick look at who's running what at the moment. As it looks like the coach now is going to go down the inside of Boosted GMC. Boosted GMC is going to try to get him back. Who's going to have the DRS? It looks like Boosted GMC is going to get the run. He's going to get the DRS. They're both going to have DRS here. It's a drag race down the straight into turn number 1. Boosted GMC has the inside line. The coach might have to concede. Oh, but the coach is the later one on the brakes, and he's going to keep 6th place there as Boosted GMC was taking it very naively. Oh, no, and that's crushed into the wall. He loses the back end. Oh, and he's lighting up those tires now. And he's falling back into 10th place. And he's going to have SF and IB now crawling up to catch back up with him. We now take it back to the battle of Boosted GMC and the coach. The coach doing well to hold that position. We now have another yellow. It looks like that's Crush again. Crush after heating up those tires. Just got to be careful after you do that, as it's very easy to just let the back end slip again and lose the rears. Next thing you know, you're just battling the car until you make it back in the pits for a change of tires and front wing. It looks like Ball Guy Racing is starting to get caught up now from the coach. Brightly putting in the fastest lap of the race. Nicely done there by him as he sits at 15th at the moment. Boosted GMC looking to the inside here. The coach doesn't really have anything. Might just want to slot himself back. Get a good exit here of 15 and get DRS as well. The coach is going to have it. Is Ball Guy Racing under threat? Doesn't look like he is here. You also got RM in 4th. So this is the battle for the outside of the podium positions. Really starting to shake up here in the midfield as SF picks up a 3-second time penalty. Currently on lap number 6 of 29 here in Bahrain. And it has been a great start to the race. Redeemer now, fastest lap of the race there. He's currently sitting at 12th. Going to need to be in the top 10 to get that extra point. He's got plenty of time to do so. Oh, no, and RM has gone off, and he rejoins at turn 8. He was lucky he had a gap there to get back on track safely. That could have been very dangerous if the coach was just a little bit closer. But RM now losing out to Ball Guy Racing, and the coach looking like he's got some solid pace here. Boosted GMC as well. Oh, and it looks like RM's going to go down the inside here of Ball Guy. The coach going to have to let off the throttle just a little bit as these guys go side by side. Someone's going to have to give. Oh, it's going to be Ball Guy. He goes slowly knowing that RM's there on his outside. This ruins the turn out here for Ball Guy. The coach now picking up massive speed, getting a good exit out of that corner there out of 13. Boosted GMC as well. Oh, going a little too deep now into 14. They exit out of 15. Oh, and Boosted GMC losing the back end as well. Ball Guy Racing side by side with the coach. The coach is going to get by him. You see the pit window is now open for the mediums as Ball Guy Racing is going to look to outbrake the coach here. It doesn't look like he can do it. The coach now into P3 and on the mediums as well. The coach looking set for a great race at the moment as he's stretching out those mediums really well as he's currently in third. The runners on the softs may start to feel those softs dying off here. They're about at the peak of their life and going to start losing a lot of lap time now as the coach looks to aim his sights at RM there in second. Is currently a Renault 1-2 at the moment as Get My Pipe has made his pit stop. Take a look at stops. Everyone in the top 6 yet to stop. 8th and 9th as well. That's X-Physics and SLR Crush there yet to make their stops. Not a great race so far for Crush, but still plenty of time to make a difference. And as I say, it looks like we have a Red Bull off again. That could be Sprightly or Crush. Unfortunate for those guys. Red Bull team not having a great race so far. The coach, however, for the sister team, AlphaTauri, is having quite the race. He's now behind RM, and it looks like that Red Bull's gone off again. See if it brings out a VSC or safety car. Hopefully it doesn't, because the coach is having the drive of his life. He's got DRS enabled. He's now going to be up in a second as RM makes the first, or the second stop, I should say, here for the Renaults. You see Brawny Man up there pitting. You got Bald Guy coming in as well, getting off those softs. What tires is he putting on? He's going to put on the mediums. No one opting for the hards yet, and a wing change as well. Looks like Bald Guy did have wing damage, which explains his lack of pace there in the last few laps of his first stint. We're now taking on board with the McLarens. Big Mr. Brown yet to pit. Got his teammate of Get My Pipe right behind him. Get My Pipe is already pitted. He's led most of the beginning stages here of the race. You would expect some team orders here, and it looks like Big Mr. Brown, as expected, is just going to get out of the way here and maybe try to follow the slipstream there of Get My Pipe, as boosted GMC is now going to be under threat. We take a look here at X-Physics and Night Shrimp. The battle for 5th looks to already be over as Night Shrimp well off in the distance now. He's already made his stop. XF has not. And now look at Brawny Man. Brawny Man coming out in 7th after his stop. RM, his teammate, in 11th. Bald Guy Racing, after getting the wing change, comes out in 12th. And Boosted GMC now has been overtaken by Get My Pipe. My Pipe there in McLaren now just 2 seconds off of the coach, and will be leading the race once more, either after an overtake. Oh, well, look at Boosted GMC. Boosted GMC with the DRS and the run here on Get My Pipe is not going out without a fight. He's back in a second. Oh, but you just see the traction that those fresh mediums have. Get My Pipe, though, down the inside here through turn 4. Can he make it stick? Boosted GMC now trying to switch it back. It just doesn't have the tire life to do so, but this is keeping Big Mr. Brown here very close to these guys, even though Big Mr. Brown is struggling massively with the tires at the moment. Boosted GMC really showing his pace here on 8-lap-old medium tires. And it looks like Get My Pipe now might have just broke away here from Boosted GMC. Boosted GMC now is going to have to be careful. The other McLaren behind him, that's Big Mr. Brown. And then shortly in the background is Night Shrimp here in 5th. And then Brawny Man in the Renault out in 6th. Take another look here at Big Mr. Brown. Also take another look at the stops at the moment. Boosted GMC, Big Mr. Brown suddenly stopped the coach as well, and then X-Physics there, and the Alfa Romeo in 7th. SLR Crush and the Red Bull pairing with his teammate of Sprightly in the back has yet to stop as well. Look at position changes prior to their stops here to coach up 13 spots from 14th to 1st. I mean, hey mama, there goes that man currently for AlphaTauri, doing a great job. Oh, and what has gone wrong with Boosted GMC? He spun it around. Oh, and that's going to be terrible for his race, as he was doing such a great job there. And now coming towards the end of his stint, those mediums are starting to fall off from him. And it's not looking good any longer there for Boosted GMC. He's now falling back into 6th. It is looking good, though, for Get My Pipe to regain the lead here. See if the coach can put up a fight on much older medium tires. It's going to be very hard for the coach to do, but if he can run these tires till about lap 18 or 19, he can make it till the end on softs and go with a one stop, but it's so hard to manage these tires, and especially with drivers right behind you fighting for position, you're going to wear them out just a little bit more than you would running by yourself. See if he can hold off Get My Pipe here. Get My Pipe here will have DRS. The coach, you know, was very late on the brakes, so this should make an interesting run up to turn 1, but it looks like the coach just doesn't have it in him. Get My Pipe, overtake, engage. Easily going to get past the coach here. Not much the coach can do. See if the coach tries to fight it at all. Does he have the tires on him to do so? Doesn't look like it. Let's now Get My Pipe back up in the first place. We have another yellow. That's going to be Big Mr. Brown, who's sideways as well. We've seen so many drivers lose it. Now to turn 2 and 3. Big Mr. Brown, just one of many here in the race so far. That is very unfortunate there for the McLaren drivers. Boosted GMC, another one of the guys we saw lose it at that very same turn, as he's currently still there in 6th position. His teammate of SF in front of him in 5th. SF doing a good job after that early off to pick himself back up into the top 5. Gotta say, the racing here in Division 4 has been very clean. It's clean up in Australia, even with some drivers making some personal mistakes. The racing was still very clean. A great race to watch as well. The coach here now falling outside of 1 second from Get My Pipe. He's still trying to put in a fight. And speaking of fights, LDR Redeemer in 9th on the softs. Getting a great run here. Big Mr. Brown, he's going to go down the inside at turn 13. Nothing really Big Mr. Brown can do. See if he gets the better exit. Doesn't look like it. And LDR Redeemer now up into 8th place. The only driver on circuit at the moment on the softs. Everyone else is on the mediums. See if the strategy comes out to help Redeemer or hurt him come the end of the race. Should be said, the coach is still out there on his mediums. So is Boosted GMC, X-Visit, Big Mr. Brown. You see Big Mr. Brown picking up another 3-second time penalty. He's trying to fight back at LDR Redeemer. That may have hurt him more than anything. As we're nearing the halfway mark here in the race. Get My Pipe out front in the lead, followed by the coach in 2nd. And Night Shrimp, his first race here at PPR for this season, in 3rd, running off the podium. We still got Brownie Man there in 4th, SF in 5th, Boosted GMC in 6th. Followed by X-Visit, LDR Redeemer, Big Mr. Brown, and IB now rounding out the top 10, but still plenty of action left to go here in the race. Looks like Big Mr. Brown is falling off just a little bit here from Redeemer and the Mercedes. A lot of drivers driving their own race at the moment. Strategies, as you can see it by the amount of laps done on all these tires, mainly the mediums, is varying quite a bit. That first lap created a little bit of carnage. Some guys had to come into the pits, change from front wings, but no safety cars yet, no VSCs. We've definitely seen an abundance of yellow flags. A lot of guys losing it there off of turn 3, but so far so good. We are retirement free, which you gotta love to see here in Xbox Division 4, as last week in Australia was quite a shock as we lost more than half the grid. But it is much cleaner now here, round number 2, and you love to see it. You love to see Get My Pipe as well, driving a fantastic race, as he's now over 3 seconds ahead of the coach who's yet to make a stop. He looks to be going very long here on the mediums. Is either going to go very long on the mediums, stretch them out to go with a one stop on the softs, or he's going to go soft to soft. It just all depends on whether or not those tires can keep up with him throughout the race. But it looks like LDR Redeemer now is next to another overtake, which is X Physics there on the mediums. Redeemer, though, putting in some laps now on the soft. It's 8 laps in. Those tires are going to start to fall off in the next 2 to 3 laps. He's going to have to come in the pits soon. He's got DRS engaged. Oh, and we have another yellow. Looks like it's just for a Ferrari. Most likely Ball Guy Racing. Now it's LER Redeemer down the inside of X Physics there in the Alfa Romeo. X Physics not being able to do too much, but Redeemer losing the back end, catching a little bit of oversteer there, which leaves the Alfa Romeo just a little bit of a fight in him, but a poor exit out of 13 might leave him to the hands of Big Mr. Brown here. He's going to have to be careful because he got IB as well in front, but back on board with Big Mr. Brown, who might go for it down the inside, turn 14. Definitely not a smart move because there goes IB around Big Mr. Brown. Big Mr. Brown being too ambitious, decides to hop in the pits here. 12 laps done on those mediums. As X Physics going to go another round on him. The coach another round as well. Those guys are 13 laps in now on those set of tires. IB 11 in on his. As he now tries to fight his way up here into 8th place. Big Mr. Brown falling all the way back into 12th place, putting on the hards. Interesting choice there for him. He could have stayed out just a little. Oh no, and Crush has crashed. No, Crush is out the races. That's a safety car, and that might have just helped Big Mr. Brown or hurt him massively. Depends on where he exits the pits. As he's already out. Yeah, that definitely hurt Big Mr. Brown. Oh, maybe if he stayed out one more lap. Oh, Boosted GMC's got a drive-through penalty, and that's going to hurt the Haas team. As you see, unfortunately for Crush there, just losing out of turn 13. His car is no longer with us. And that's a safety car halfway through the race, so a shakeup. If I'm these drivers, I'm pitting for the mediums, as long as they've already either start on the softs. This is great for the coach, but the coach is stuck in a and a 5-second time penalty for speeding in pit lane. Oh, the coach might have hurt his chances of a podium maybe with that one. We'll see. The coach, though, his strategy of, he's going with the hards. Can't put on the softs. He can't put on the mediums as well, or else he'll have to pit again. The softs won't make it, so he has to go with the hards. I don't know how it's going to play for the coach, but he's going to come out in second. Night Shrimp in third. Brawny Man opting for the hards as well. Boosted GMC is going to go on the hards. He had to as well. So we got a lot of guys going to hards, a lot of guys going to mediums. About even par here on circuit. We're now going to have to see which was the better choice. In my eyes, the mediums definitely for the first part of the stint, and the hards are going to come in at the end of the race. So it's really a pick your poison, because this safety car came out at the perfect time to make both tires a viable choice. And it looks like most guys are going on the hards. Now that may be for their strategy reasons, that they have to put on the hards because the softs will go to the end. And they have to make it extra stop. You're just going to lose out time doing that. But nonetheless, we only have 4 drivers who pitted for the mediums. And other than that, we got another 8 who pitted for the hards. You still have get some chops there on the mediums, who's fallen really out of contention here in the race. But maybe if he comes into the pits there, put us on a fresh set of tires, he can maybe wrangle himself back into the top 10. But what a race it's been so far here in Bahrain. Get My Pipe leads it. The coach there in second, and Night Shrimp in third. Brawny Man, though, still going to fight for a podium. SF as well in fifth. And you know what we can do at the moment? We can take a look here at our race director and see if we can pick up some of our time penalties. As Sprightly with a 5-second, he would have served that in the pits, but you got Crush with a 3. See if we got anyone in our top 10, or I should say our top 3, top 4 with penalties. You got SF with a 3-second time penalty. Big Mr. Brown with a 3 as well. Crush another 3, and we have the 2 5-second time penalties for the coach and XF, or X Physics as I should say, for speeding in the pit lane. But other than that, it has been pretty much penalty free for our top 4, and then SF just has that 3-second time penalty. Very surprised to see that we've seen lots of penalties here at Bahrain. At least 3 to 6 seconds, but for most of our grid, they've kept it fairly clean besides those 2 speeding in the pit lane penalties and a drive-through as well. But here we are on lap 16 of 29 in Bahrain, under the lights here in the desert. One of my favorite races of the season. Even if it is in round 2, it's quite a joy to watch very early in the season. It's been quite a joy to watch as well here on track. A little more plugs while we're under the safety car. You can check us on Sunday for round 2 of our ACC Championship. Got another 90-minute endurance race at Hungary at the Hungaroring. It's going to be very exciting. If you didn't watch the last race, I will say you definitely need to check that out. At least just go watch the last lap. It was a very epic battle between Niels and, oh man, my brain is collapsing on itself. But it was a great battle. You should definitely check that out. Should expect some more fantastic racing coming on Sunday as well. Even though we only race F1 through the week, we got ACC covering the weekends. Hopefully in the future we can get Xbox going ahead, but until ACC can really get the grips with the game on Xbox, we will not be racing that division yet. But Sunday, round 2 at the Hungaroring, 90 minutes. I'll be on the mics, and it is TBD for who will be joining me this upcoming Sunday. As James Trower joined me this previous Sunday, we'll see who the co-commentator will be upcoming on Sunday afternoon. That is at 4 p.m. Eastern. I believe that is 9 o'clock GMT, I believe. So, got it for everyone around the world to watch. Safety car is going to stay out one more lap. Looks like we got Sprightly coming around the back of the grid. We'll also have announcements as well fairly soon for our Rocket League roster, our Rocket League team. Very excited for them. And that's been under the works for the past couple of weeks, and we're very excited to announce those guys fairly soon and announce when we will be competing in tournaments for that team as well. So that's some exciting stuff coming in here at PPR, and we're still very, very early here in the F1 season as well. This is just round 2 of 22 this season, as we're getting the race on all platforms this season: Xbox, PC, and PS4 as well. Our PS4 division starting to really pick up and stride itself along here very early in the season. We've had some fantastic racing as well in the first 2 rounds, as this is going to be the last race of the week here in Bahrain. And then we will go next week to Vietnam, the race in Hanoi, which it seems to not be a very favored track throughout the F1 game, even though it is a new track. Seems that out of the 2 new additions to the calendar between Zandvoort and Hanoi, that Zandvoort is definitely getting the love and Hanoi is getting all the hate. And it doesn't seem like a lot of league racers are really enjoying that track layout, but we'll see how the racing goes. We did go there for our preseason race, and even though it was preseason, it gave us a few glimpses of action. We'll just have to see how it goes this next week, and it being a new track as well will be very interesting to watch. We should see the safety car now coming in. Yes, there it is, race control safety car in this lap. So Get My Pipe will lead us off here as we will start lap 18 of 29 in the final stages here of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Looks like IB has picked up a 5-second time penalty with X-Physics. Presumably a little bit of a touch there. But it's time to see, can anyone battle here with Get My Pipe? Looks like he's going to set off. No, he's not. He's still going to slow down the grid. He's going to stack him up Lewis Hamilton style. Oh, and now he sets off, catching them all out. The coach not knowing when to go. And Get My Pipe doing a great job there of not giving anyone a slipstream advantage. Looks like, oh, it's going to be a little bit of a nail biter here into turn 1. Boosted GMC, got to be very careful. Oh, he's going to get the Alfa Romeo XF. Oh, no, and that is Ibina off the circuit. No, that is LDR Redeemer off the circuit in the Mercedes. Oh, and that Alfa Romeo of X-Physics going to have to be very careful of swinging across the track like there. As we got Bald Guy Racing going around. Big Mr. Brown, Bald Guy now up into 8th. IB there up into 7th. And it looks like X-Physics, RM, and the Renault getting past. Get some chops. Opting not to pit. He's 12 laps in on the medium. He's going to have to pit again. Unsure what's going on here for the Renault man. But we take a look here at his teammate of Brawny Man. Brawny Man is trying to get back in and on the podium steps here in the race. See if he can do it. He's got SF all on his trail. Get some chops, picking up a 3-second time penalty there after getting what seems to be an overtake on RM. Here goes SF right on the gearbox of Brawny Man. Oh, he's going to be a compromised run here through 14. Looks like he's gotten a decent exit. He's going to go side by side now. Who's got the DRS? And neither one of them is not enabled yet because of the safety car. So SF is going to have to use the power of Slipstream to his advantage as they make a run up here to turn 1. He's got the inside line as they make it through 1. Can Brawny Man stick it alongside? No, he can't, and that's going to be the overtake done at the moment for SF, who's now up into 4th place. And Brawny Man is going to have to fight his way back if he wants to get onto the podium here tonight. Should be said, SF does have a 3-second time penalty. The rest of our top 5 does not, so SF is at a disadvantage at the moment, the way that our timing charts are looking. But Night Shrimp now trying to fight his way up to the coach, as Get My Pipe has already built a 2.5 gap here, a lap and a half through after the safety car. So that McLaren man may run away with it here in the lead, but the battle for the podium is not gone whatsoever. We're coming up to 10 laps remaining here. They're on lap 19 of 29 under the lights here in the desert. We got a lot of battles going on in the back of the grid as well. RM trying to pick up a point here. Oh, and Bald Guy Racing throws it down the inside for 11th. Bald Guy Racing still trying to pick up some points here, and he's got Get My Chops in front of him. Should be said, however, that Bald Guy and Get My Chops did not pit under the safety car. Not too sure what that strategy call was, but is not going to work out for him. His DRS now is enabled, and Night Shrimp here on the mediums is showing that he's got the pace over the coach at the moment, but the coach is not letting Get My Pipe get too far ahead of him. Get My Pipe has actually lost a little bit here through the final sector of the last lap, as it's underneath a second now. What is going on with Get My Pipe? He's losing out massively here on time. It's either the coach is just getting so much faster as he puts in a purple first sector. Scenario 7 may be a little early, as it looks like maybe Get My Pipe has got himself back to grips here as he breaks out of that 1 second gap from the coach once again, as the coach is under threat from Night Shrimp and SF. They come out and around a turn 9 and 10 there. They see multiple drivers picking up time penalties. Now another yellow through sector 2. Not too much going on at the moment. Top 3 is still Get My Pipe to coach and Night Shrimp. SF has been slowly working himself up here to the podium positions as he locks up out of turn number 15. And he sets the fastest lap of the race as well, 1:30.3, but that 3-second time penalty is really going to hold him back unless Night Shrimp the coach or even Get My Pipe picks up one themselves to even it out. But even at that, he's going to have to get the overtake done on track, even if they do pick up a time penalty. Let's see, DRS enabled for all these guys. SF getting very close to a possible move now. And speaking of moves, it looks like Big Mr. Brown has gotten around IB for 6th place. McLaren man now fighting his way back up the grid, and IB falling back down into 7th. Look at the other Haas of SF 1776 right behind the Ferrari of Night Shrimp. Night Shrimp and the coach now. Looks like they might battle it out here Battle out here for second place as the coach hangs it on the inside. He's going to compromise his run out the exit. Oh, and that was very, very close to nearly damaging. Oh, and Night Strip's gone off. He's caught the curb. He's off. SF is on the podium. Brawny Man is in the fourth. Where does Big Mr. Brown come to play in this situation? As Night Shrimp tries to regain on circuit, he's going to go through the gravel. Gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. I can definitely tell you that will get removed, as he was just trying to get back onto the track, but it's really going to hurt his race result. But stewards will definitely look at that post-race and overturn that for an unfair penalty. Back on board, though, now with the coach. The coach has already gotten overtaken by SF. So SF is now up into second, and this was a treat for Get My Pipe there in first. He's now 3 seconds ahead from these guys, and I don't think they have the pace to catch back up. So Get My Pipe has cleared himself, even if he did get a penalty, because SF also has one as well. Oh, and we have another yellow flag, and then we're under a VSC for the Ferrari of Ball Guy Racing. See if we can pick him up here. Oh, no, there he is. He's completely beached it off of turn 3, as a lot of our drivers just had really a tremendous challenge there, not really being able to find a traction out of turn 3 and putting it in the wall. It's unfortunate there. But the podium as it stands here under VSC, the VSC should be ending fairly soon, is Get My Pipe, SF, and the coach. The coach hanging on to that final podium spot. Should be said that I don't think he's picked up a penalty yet. SF does have that 3-second time penalty. Get My Pipe, I believe, has none as well, as that's going off what we saw earlier in the race director during the safety car. So SF is at a disadvantage here. Brawny Man still has a chance to get on the podium, but he's going to have to bridge the gap to SF. As the VSC is over, and oh no, Night Shrimp getting a drive-through penalty, and where has he gone? Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we can pick up Night Shrimp. Looks like he's just... that's a very odd place to crash your car. But anyways, back to the racing now. We're on board with third place, the coach, as Brawny Man looks like he may be slowly starting to creep up, still 2 seconds back. It's like X-Fizit here is having a little bit of a battle. He's got Sprightly right behind him. Sprightly picking himself back up in the podium spots. X-Fizit looks like he's going to get that position back. LDR Redeemer and the Mercedes fighting his way to see if he can get at RM, but Sprightly, should be said, he has a couple of time penalties at the moment, is in the points. We only have 2 DNFs so far tonight. That's Night Shrimp and SLR Crush. Unfortunately, Crush was the one that brought out our safety car. Night Shrimp bring out the VSC. Very odd to see where Night Shrimp crashed out. I wonder if we're going to see anything about that maybe later in the stewards report. But, oh, and X-Fizit's gone off. Sprightly's going to go around him. X-Fizit touching that very deadly curb of turn 12, and it catches him out, as we saw it catch out Night Shrimp earlier here in the race, about mid-race. But now here comes LDR Redeemer forcing RM. Oh, and it's got to be the commentator's curse here, because Redeemer's now in the wall, and that's an automatic safety car, and it's going to be a very hectic battle. Sprightly comes in the pits at the right time, as he might be able to keep his position here. Boosted GMC's going to come in. X-Fizit's going to come in. Oh, this is going to be very interesting. Ball Guy Racing picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Why? You guys need to look at the delta, and hopefully that's not a glitch going on with those guys, and they're just maybe not looking at the delta at the appropriate time. But Get My Pipe is going to get a reset here, and he's going to have to push one more time. This is probably going to be 3-lap showdown for the remainder of the race. The safety car number 2 very late here in the race, as LDR Redeemer just spun it out of turn number 14. It's very unfortunate there for Redeemer. He fell all the way back outside the points after qualifying in third, found himself all the way back up, maybe scratching at a top 5 just to lose it all at lap number 23, as he will definitely not enjoy going home with no points when it looked like, in hindsight, he definitely could have picked some up. Oh, and get my pipe, throwing the dummy in the pits. SF not going for it. The coach, however, says, thank you very much. I'll take it. Brawny Man as well. Now is big Mr. Brown going to stay out? That is the question. Yes, he is. Team is telling him to stay out. RM going into the pits. See how this goes. Get my chops. Get some chops, I should say. Back in contention after what's been a horrible race for him. Could be on for a great finish. He's got the softs on. He might come out of this with an overtake from RM. Yes, he is. RM getting passed up there by Get My Chops. But Get My Chops up into 6th position now. The coach has fallen into 5th behind Brawny Man in the pits. Big Mr. Brown did not pit. And then we have SF and Get My Pipe both on the mediums. Get My Pipe might be caught out here by the runners on the softs. They're going to have much better pace than him. And SF with a 3-second time penalty is really stuck in McLaren's sandwich here, as both McLarens opted to stay out. Maybe try to fight for the life there. Oh, and Ball Guy Racing now picking up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, as he's all the way back there in 12th, and that might be his chance for a points finish out the window with all of those penalties. That's very unfortunate there for Bald Guy Racing, as we should be under safety car for what should be maybe 2 more laps. We might only have 2 laps to go. Depends on whether or not the safety car wants to bring in it early and not wait for the rest of the grid to catch up. The top 5 are all within a second of each other here. A second or 2, should be said. Get some chops, slowly catching back up. So really, only drivers you got to worry about here is going to be X-Visit and Ball Guy Racing. It looks like everyone else from Boosted GMC on up is going to easily catch up to the safety car here within another lap, maybe even just half a lap. It looks like most likely 1 more lap here under safety car, and then we will be underway for a very epic finish here for Xbox Division 4, who has not disappointed the first 2 races. That's why you should really not take into account what division it is that you're watching, because even if the timing and the pace is off, these guys on track are still so competitive that it's absolutely so fun to watch. It's fun to commentate, and I hope it's fun for you guys to watch there at home as well, and spend a little bit of your Friday night with us as well. I mean, as I always say, it's greatly appreciated. And if you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. I believe we just passed 750 subscribers tonight, so that's unbelievable. Hopefully we can hit 1K before the end of the season, which I think we might even be able to do before halfway in. But once again, wouldn't do it if we didn't have you guys here, and glad that you're with us. Hopefully safety car will be in this lap. You see Bald Guy just now coming across turn 1, so it's going to be up to the safety car and Burt Mylander there and that AMG, whether or not he stays out one more time or comes in, and we'll start back up on lap 27 or either 28. Because I'm really hoping that it will come in this lap. So we have 3 laps of racing to go. But the longer the safety car stays out, the longer it benefits Get My Pipe, who is on 10 lap mediums. SF as well on those 10 lap mediums with a time penalty. Big Mr. Brown 11 laps in as well. He's got time penalties. He's 11 laps in on hard. So the top 3 might not even finish in the top 3, as they got Brawny Man in 4th on soft. The coach on soft. Get some chops. He's on softs. Those guys could very well fight their way into a podium, and depending on penalties, we'll see how it all turns out. But it looks like the safety car is going to stay out 1 more lap as we wait for Bald Guy Racing there to catch back up. It's unfortunate the safety car doesn't go out, but as we said, it's Fortunate for the top 3 that it does, as that's just one last lap, or one lap less, I should say, that they have to worry about the drivers behind them getting in some overtakes. They're still trying to keep heat in those tires. As we got 3 to go here, we'll have 2 left when we resume racing. So at this point, the one thing you don't want to do is catch yourself with a 5-second time penalty for hitting the guy in front of you. The one thing you can always do on the safety car is leave yourself some spacing, as you'll see it quite often. And we usually return most of these penalties, the stewards do at least. If you hit the back of somebody or have a slight touch, the game will almost automatically give you 5-second time penalty. So what you want to do right now, so you don't have to worry about submitting that stewards report, is keep your space. And once that safety car comes in, you can get back on the racing. It will be up to Get My Pipe here in the McLaren, who's driven a fantastic race through all the adversity, but he's going to have to do it for 2 more laps after the safety car comes in. He's going to have to do it on old mediums as well. Now, those have done a few laps under the safety car, but they're definitely nowhere near as pacey as the softs behind him. So this is going to be an epic battle with 2 laps to go, as I almost nearly expect the safety car to come in now. We should be seeing it fairly soon. It usually comes out right before the exit of turn 13. And there we have it, folks. The safety car is in this lap. SF getting really close to the back of Get My Pipe there. Oh, and this is going to be an epic battle. I can't say it enough here for the podium. It's really anybody within the top 10 here could steal it, as Get My Pipe is going to back up the grid like he did on the first safety car, and now he is off. Cut out SF just a little bit there, and Get My Pipe just has to make it till the end. He knows SF has a 3-second time penalty, so he's not fighting with him. He's fighting with this guy right here, which is Bronny Man, who's got to get past 3rd and 2nd. Oh, and he might do it. Oh, he's going to lose a little bit. RM is off. IB gets a 5-second time penalty. It looks like he's hit the coach. He's hit his own teammate. The coach is off as well. Gets some chops now trying to get past RM, and IB's retired as he's crashed, hit his teammate, and what looked like a podium for the coach, or the hopes of one, is now gone out the window. But Bronny Man now is going to fight for a win. He's got 2 guys in front of him on the 12-lap-old medium tires, and he's on the much faster softs. Scenario 7 engaged here for Bronny Man. SF has that 3-second time penalty, so he will pass him as long as he doesn't have any himself. He'll get past SF due to time penalties. But he's got to bridge a 1.5-second gap, now more, if he wants to fight with Get My Pipe for a race victory. Oh, Big Mr. Brown picking up a time penalty. SF picks up a time penalty again as well. So it's really all going to come down to time penalties here at the end, as Sprightly is all the way up into 5th. Sprightly, who was in dead last for most of this race, is going to come in the top 5 if he can keep it all together for 1 more lap. He might even be able to pass up Big Mr. Brown, who's 14 laps in here on the hard compound of tire. Get My Pipe needs to go 1 more lap here, and he'll get the race win. SF, after time penalties here, may be well out of the podium spots. Oh, and look at Sprightly. Sprightly's going to battle it out here with Big Mr. Brown. Both of these guys have time penalties as well. We'll see how that plays out. Take it back up here to Bronny Man. Bronny Man still fighting with SF. This might be his chance. We have a Ferrari off. That's Ball Guy Racing. Oh, Bronny Man thinks about going down the inside. Yes, he does. Out of turn 10. Oh, he picks up a 3-second time penalty of his own. We're getting a little bit of a squeeze there That might have been unfair there by Cody's, but nothing he can do about it. He's got to get past SF now. He's 3/10 back. Get my pipe here. Oh, get my pipes off. Get my pipe is off. He's into the wall. Oh, he's into the wall. That's SF in the first. Brownie Man in the second. Big Mr. Brown in the third. Sprightly might come off with a podium if he can get this position taken from Big Mr. Brown, but it's going to be a race to the line. Here goes Brownie Man around the outside of SF. SF with the squeeze. Brownie Man is going to be a drag race. No DRS. SF is going to get it across the line, but after time penalties, he's going to come in second. Brownie Man in. Oh, and after time penalties, boosted GMC comes in the second. RM third. SF loses out on the podium. Big Mr. Brown in the fifth. Get my pipe falls all the way back down to 6 after one mistake. And Sprightly 7th. Get some chops in the 8th. X Physics in the 9th. And Ball Guy Racing in the 10th. What an unbelievable last lap of the race. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe what we've just seen here on track. The game's going to get boosted GMC, the driver of the day. That was unbelievable. I can't believe it. I can't believe what I just saw here on track. What an epic finish. Oh, man, going to have to catch the breath here as we wait to see the podium celebration. As it is a double Renault podium here. Cyril's somewhere crying in the background because of this. And there you go, the Haas as well of boosted GMC getting into third. That was very, very exciting there for Brawny Man and RM. We'll see if we can get them into the booth very shortly. But there's your final results. Boosted GMC with no time penalties comes in second, and Get My Pipe, just a heart sinker there for him. It drove a fantastic race and clips the curb out of turn 12 and just unable to save the car from there. But there you go, top three, Brawny Man, Boosted GMC, and RM 1, 2, 3. Boosted GMC picking up that 1 point for fastest lap as well, followed by SF, Big Mr. Brown, Get My Pipe, Sprightly, Get Some Chops, X Physics, and the coach all rounding out your top 10. We'll see if we can get these guys into a little bit of a Discord chat and get their thoughts on the races. That was unbelievable. I'm just in complete awe of what we've seen tonight. That was a great race. It was very fun to watch. I have to say that, as we will now see what we have here. Let's see if we can get the top three into a nice little Discord chat. But once again, as we wait for our top three to join here, just want to say another thank you to everyone who's tuned in tonight. It's been absolutely fantastic to commentate this race, to watch it with you guys, to see everything. And hopefully Xbox Division 4 gives us more of this great racing this season. I'm very happy to be able to commentate these guys. And it looks like we're now joined by RM, who finished in third, as pretty much the entire grid had tonight, a wild race. But how's it feeling for you, man? You finished in third place there. Your teammate gets a race win. Just run me through it. I mean, how does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great, man. The safety car kind of hurt me, actually. The first safety car, I stopped right before it came out, so I was running okay, and then dropped back down, and figured if I could hang on, I might be able to get in top 5 or top 10. I wasn't thinking podium, but I'll take it.
Oh, and there we go. Unfortunately, my mic was a little bit muted there. But no, it's so now joined here by Bronny Man and Boosted GMC as well. Um, yeah, so Bronny, just talk to your teammate here of RM, who can tell me how he wants his name to be pronounced from further on. But dude, a race win. What were your thoughts when you saw the top three? It was, I believe, SF, Get My Pipe, and I forgot who the other one was. Um, but none of the top three pitted after that last safety car. So what were your thoughts there going in towards the final 2 laps of the race?
Really, I was just hoping, like after pitting, knowing that we're only going to have maybe 2-3 laps left, just hoping I can blitz some hot laps in and get some good passing in, just to be able to, make up a couple spots there. But I mean, in no way, shape, or form did I think I'd win the race, but definitely make up a couple positions.
Yeah, I mean, it was wild to see there. It looked like had it all wrapped up, and then he touched the curb at turn 12. I mean, everyone knows that curb will completely end your car, and then it was just a race till the end with you and SF. Did you know that SF had an additional 3-second time penalty ahead of you, or did you think that was just a drag race to the finish line there at the end?
I actually didn't know he had any time penalties, so I was just trying to make a move, stick, and drag race to the end.
Damn. Well, congrats to you, man. That was a great race. I'm really happy to be able to commentate you guys. You guys have given us great racing, clean racing as well. Um, and just yeah, congrats to you and your teammate for the race. The 1-2 there for Renault. The race win for you, in third place there for RM. Who can actually? I'll ask you now. How would you like your name to be pronounced further on here in the streams?
RM works. So Roman
Okay.
Grosjean is my favorite. Is my favorite driver. So I just
Okay.
took all the vowels out.
Okay.
But RM is cool with me.
All right, sounds good. And then, looks like Boosted GMC has hopped out. See if we can get back in here. But thank you to you guys. You guys are all good. I'm glad you guys joined us here in the interview room. And we'll see if we can get Boosted GMC back in here. But thank you, fellas.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely.
And there we are, joined back by Boosted GMC.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I believe you had 0 time penalties tonight. Is that correct?
No, I had 6 seconds.
Okay, so it was someone else.
Yeah.
But no, still, nonetheless, coming out in second place. What's your thoughts after that second safety car comes out? You got 2 laps to go. Did you think you'd be able to capture a podium there?
Oh, there was no way I was thinking I was capturing a podium. I was just going to push for that fastest lap, and when I saw the safety car come out, I immediately dashed in for softs because I knew I could pace for it. And when it came across it, I came in I believe second or third, I don't remember, but that. It really surprised me. I definitely didn't think I was going to be pushing for a podium.
Well, and also, I mean, like we talked with Brian, man, were you surprised at the top 3 after that last safety car came out that they didn't pit for tires, or did you think maybe they were going to have enough over you guys who had on fresh tires just to make it 2 more laps? I mean,
I believe it's a mixture of both. That either they didn't want to pit because they wanted to keep their spots, or they just thought that their tires were good enough to make it to the end. And like I said, I didn't know anybody up there had time penalties that would push them that far back. That's for sure.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, hats off for the P2. You split the Renaults there on the podium, and once again to Brian Man and RM. Congrats to you guys. You guys are going to be looking fairly solid in the constructor standings, but that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for joining the interview room. Can't wait to see you guys next week in Hanoi, and hopefully that's going to be another great race.
Right on. Thanks, guys.
All right, well, that is going to be all for us here at PPR. Just want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping up with all the action tonight. Got to be really appreciative of our top 3 joining us in the interview room, and can't wait to bring you some great racing in the future. Make sure to check us out on Sunday for ACC round 2 at the Hungaroring in Hungary. We'll have a 90-minute endurance race there. I'll be on the mics as well, and then next week, starting Monday, PC Division 1 and PC Euro as well on Monday, kicking off round 3 at Hanoi. That's all I have. Once again, if you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We'd love to have you each and every week catching out some great PPR League racing. And that is all I have for you guys tonight. I'm PPR Nick signing off. Peace.